Imagine a quiet room. The light is soft. Perhaps it is late, and the world outside has hushed. You are here, with me, and with yourself. Have you ever felt it? A subtle tremor, a shiver that isn't from the cold, a warmth that isn't from the sun. Perhaps in your hands, a faint vibration, a restless energy that can't be explained away by the temperature of the room. Or a sudden flutter in your chest, a sense of being profoundly awake yet without a clear reason. He realized, you see, that the tremor in his hands wasn't from cold. It was something else, something deeper. How often do we experience these gentle nudges, these soft calls from within? Moments when the body speaks to us in whispers and we dismiss them. We attribute them to fatigue, perhaps, or the quiet march of age, or simply the ambient chill. We tell ourselves it's nothing important, just a fleeting sensation, a trick of the light or the blood pressure. But what if it isn't? What if these aren't random occurrences? What if these whispers are, in truth, profound messages? A language we have forgotten how to speak, or even to hear. A secret dialogue between your truest self and the vibrant current of life that flows within you. For between a man and a woman, yes, but also within each of us, alone, flows not just passion, but life itself, a sacred, creative energy. This energy, it never truly fades. It transforms. It seeks expression. And when its path is unclear, when its natural flow is hindered, it manifests, not as a roar, but as a murmur, as a subtle, persistent ache, as that unexplained tremor. When energy is blocked, you see, we don't lose merely sex in its physical sense. We lose something far greater. We lose vitality. We lose the spark of creation, the joy of being, the deep connection to our own essence. It's a mystery, yes, but one that resides within us all, waiting to be understood, not through force, but through gentle listening. Imagine for a moment that your body is a temple, and within its silent halls a powerful current courses, always. Sometimes it surges, sometimes it pools, and sometimes it trembles, gently, like a leaf caught in a breeze, trying to tell you something vital. These sensations are not random. They are invitations. Invitations to pause, to feel, to remember, to step beyond the surface explanation and into the deeper truth of your own being. The truth that pulsates beneath the skin, the understanding that resides in the bones. It is there, always, a deep wellspring of power. Often, we have simply learned to misinterpret its calls, to ignore its gentle presence. But tonight, perhaps, we can begin to listen differently, to feel with a new awareness, to understand that the body, in its wisdom, is always speaking, always guiding. And those subtle tremors, those quiet stirrings, they are not a sign of something broken. They are a sign of life, yearning to be fully lived. A soul, perhaps, beginning to sing again. Let us explore this language together. This ancient, sacred tongue. Let us allow ourselves to feel, not just with our minds, but with every fiber of our being. For in these whispers lies the map to reclaiming not just passion, but the very essence of who we are. That tremor, the subtle vibration in the hands, or perhaps a sudden tightness in the chest, a quiet unease that settles just beneath the surface of our days. We often dismiss these sensations as mere fatigue or the natural anxieties of a busy world. But what if they are something more? What if they are whispers from a deeper current, signals from the very wellspring of our being? For between a man and a woman, and indeed within each of us, flows not just passion, but life itself. This energy, this vital force, is not confined to the bedroom. It is the sparkle in your eyes, the warmth in your touch, the clarity in your thought, the drive behind your creations. It is the very pulse of your existence. But sometimes this sacred current, this river of life, seems to recede. It doesn't disappear, not truly. Energy cannot be destroyed. It merely transforms. When its natural flow is hindered, when it is misunderstood or repressed, it seeks other outlets. It begins to eddy and swirl, manifesting in ways that feel alien, even unwelcome. Have you ever felt that persistent hum of anxiety? A restless mind that refuses to quiet, even when there is no discernible threat? Or a pervasive fatigue, a weariness that sleep cannot quite conquer, leaving you feeling drained even after a long night? Perhaps a shortness of temper, an unexpected irritation at trivial things, a friction that seems to rub against your very soul. These are not weaknesses. These are the diverted streams of your vital energy, seeking release, crying out for recognition. Sometimes this blocked current manifests even in the physical body. Those aches and pains that seem to have no clear origin, the chronic tension in the shoulders or the back, the persistent dullness that dims the vibrancy of your senses. The body, in its profound wisdom, becomes a canvas for the unspoken, the unfelt. It's speaking a language we've forgotten how to hear. Remember this truth deeply. When energy is blocked, we don't lose sex, we lose vitality. We don't just lose physical desire, we lose the very essence of what makes us feel alive, connected, radiant. The world seems a little dimmer, colors less vivid, laughter less resonant. The zest for life, that inherent spark, dims. Why does this happen? Why do we unknowingly build dams across our own rivers of life? Often, it begins with the subtle, insidious messages woven into the fabric of our societies. We are taught, sometimes explicitly, sometimes through unspoken expectations, that desire is something to be controlled, contained, even ashamed of. That it is base, animalistic, separate from the higher pursuits of the mind or spirit. We internalize these judgments, and in doing so, we begin to constrict our own natural flow. We learn to censor our authentic expressions, to dim our own light for fear of being too much or not enough. Then there are the echoes of the past, those tender wounds, those moments of betrayal or disappointment that taught us to guard our hearts, to protect ourselves by retreating. Past traumas, whether grand or subtle, can create deep energetic imprints, invisible fences around our capacity to feel, to trust, to open. The body remembers, long after the mind believes it has forgotten. It holds on to these experiences, creating subtle but powerful blocks that prevent the free flow of love and connection. We erect walls, not out of malice, but out of a profound, misguided need for safety. And what of the unspoken resentments? The words swallowed, the apologies never offered, the hurts never truly acknowledged, either by ourselves or by others. These unaddressed emotional burdens sit heavy within us, like stones in the riverbed, impeding its natural course. They create a constant, low-level static that drains our energy, leaving us feeling heavy, burdened, and disconnected. The energy that could be flowing outward in creativity and connection becomes trapped, swirling inward in a vortex of unresolved feeling. Perhaps most subtly and perhaps most pervasively, we create these blocks through a simple lack of attention to ourselves. In the rush of modern life, the endless demands on our time and energy, we forget to listen. We neglect the quiet whispers of our own bodies, the subtle shifts in our emotional landscape. We live from the neck up, consumed by thoughts and tasks, forgetting the vast intelligence residing in our heart, our gut, our very cells. We stop breathing deeply, stop feeling fully, stop allowing ourselves the luxury of simply being. We are constantly doing, and in that relentless activity, we lose touch with the source of our deepest power. These manifestations, the anxiety, the fatigue, the irritability, the physical complaints, they are not problems to be fixed in the way one fixes a broken machine. No, they are something far more profound. They are not a sign of failure, but a call to awakening. A signal from your inner life force, that intelligent, wise, and sacred energy within you, asking for your attention. It's like a child tugging gently at your sleeve, or a plant turning its leaves towards the sun, seeking light, seeking nourishment. It is your deeper self yearning to be seen, to be heard, to be honored. It is the universe remembering itself through you, calling you back to wholeness, back to the natural, vibrant flow that is your birthright. Love, feel, breathe. The energy within you has never died. It's been waiting for you to awaken. Perhaps you felt it, that quiet whisper, or a subtle ache, a sense that the deepest wellspring of your being, that vibrant current you once knew, has perhaps receded. You might perceive it as a diminishment, a cooling of a fire that once burned so brightly. But what if what you feel is not a loss at all, but merely a misunderstanding, a shift in your attention from the grand, intricate tapestry of energy to just one small thread? We often speak of sexual energy as if it were a separate function, an isolated drive within us. Yet I invite you now to open your understanding to a truth far more expansive, far more profound. This energy, this tremor you might feel, or the stillness you yearn to awaken, is not merely physical desire. It is the very current of life itself, the primordial pulse that animates all existence. It is the same creative force that paints the dawn with fire, that draws the tides across the ocean's face, that causes a tiny seed to burst forth into a mighty tree. It is the deep, resonant hum at the core of all being. Imagine it not as a simple river, but as the vast, unseen ocean from which all rivers flow. This ocean, this fundamental energetic current, is what we refer to, perhaps too narrowly, as sexual energy. It is the source of vitality, the wellspring of inspiration, the raw, untamed power that allows us to create, to connect, to heal, and to truly, deeply live. When this energy is vibrant within us, it manifests in ways beyond simple physical attraction. It becomes the luminous quality in your eyes, the resonant warmth in your voice, the grounded, confident posture of your body. It is the subtle, magnetic field that draws others towards your authentic self, not out of need, but out of recognition, a shared resonance. Consider for a moment the deep truth behind the phrase, "Desire is not the body calling, it is the soul singing." Think about that. Truly feel it. What does it mean for the soul to sing? It means a yearning, a profound aspiration for wholeness, for union, for expression. Our bodies are merely the exquisite instruments through which this song, this sacred longing, seeks to be heard, to be felt, to be brought into being. When we mistake this soulful song for a mere physical craving, we diminish its sacred nature. We confine its vastness to a tiny chamber. But when we listen with an open heart, with an expanded awareness, we begin to hear the full symphony. We recognize that true desire is a longing for connection, not just of bodies, but of spirits, of minds, of energies. It is the soul's impulse to merge, to create, to expand itself through intimate communion with another or with life itself. This fundamental life current, this creative pulse, manifests itself in countless beautiful ways within our daily experience. Observe how it expresses itself through the very act of movement. When a woman breathes deeply, life breathes with her, and her every movement, from the gentle sway of her hips to the graceful gesture of her hand, can become a silent poem, a flowing expression of this inner vitality. And a man, when he moves with purpose, with presence, when his body is aligned with his inner power, he doesn't just walk, he commands the space around him, not through force, but through the sheer, vibrant current he embodies. This energy is visible in the way we breathe. Shallow, constricted breaths limit the flow of this life force, but a deep, unhurried breath, drawn fully into the belly, allowed to expand the rib cage, then released with a gentle sigh, that breath is an invitation. It is an opening, a surrender to the very current of life, allowing it to flood every cell, to awaken every dormant corner of your being. It is a sacred act, a profound connection to the pulsating rhythm of the universe. When you breathe deeply, you are not just taking in air, you are drawing in life force, pure, unadulterated energy. And attention, where does your attention go? This energy flows where your awareness rests. If your attention is scattered, fragmented, so too will be your energy. But when you bring your full, undivided attention to another person, to a task, to the simple act of feeling your own body, you are channeling this life current. You are giving it direction, purpose. You are creating a field of presence, a magnetic pull that transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. To be truly present is to be fully alive in this energy. It is to inhabit your body, your senses, your moment with a complete, unwavering awareness. When you are present, you become a vessel for this creative pulse. Your voice gains depth, your gaze holds meaning, your touch conveys understanding beyond words. This kind of presence is intoxicating, not in a superficial way, but in a way that awakens the other to their depths. And this energy is the very root of all creativity. Whether you are painting a canvas, composing a melody, writing a story, nurturing a garden, or simply imagining a new possibility for your life, it is this same vital current flowing through you seeking expression. When energy is blocked, we don't just lose a fleeting desire, we lose vitality, we lose our spark, our capacity for joy, for innovation, for meaning. We lose the very essence of what it means to be alive, to create, to contribute our unique song to the world. So, when we speak of attraction, let us not confine it to mere physical longing or label it with guilt. Attraction is not sin. It's the universe remembering itself. What does this mean? It means that when you feel a profound pull towards another, it is often a recognition, a deep, ancient remembering of a resonance, a frequency that your soul has encountered before or yearns to experience. It is the universe within you recognizing its own reflection, its own inherent pattern, its own potential for divine union in another form. It is a sacred calling, an echo of primordial connection, a whisper of wholeness. It is not something to be feared or judged, but to be understood, to be honored, as a profound communication from the depths of your own being. This sacred force, this life current, it has never truly faded within you. It is not something you gain or lose. It is something you are. It is always present, always flowing, perhaps softly, perhaps quietly, like a subterranean river, waiting for your conscious attention, for your gentle invitation to surge forth once more. It is the source of your innate vitality, the wellspring of your deepest inspiration, the very foundation of your capacity for profound connection with another human being or with the silent, expansive wisdom within your own heart. It is the energy that allows you to feel deeply, to love fiercely, to create beautifully, to live authentically. It has never died. It is merely waiting for your hand to touch the surface, for your breath to stir its depths, for your heart to remember its song. Love, feel, breathe. The energy within you has never died. It's been waiting for you to awaken. And so, we find ourselves standing at the threshold, not of a distant land, but of an inner landscape long forgotten. A place where the currents of life flow freely, where the heart remembers its original song. This journey, this return, is not about finding something new, but about rediscovering what has always been present within you. It is about gently lifting the veils that time and expectation have woven around your truest self. We seek not a technique nor a formula to reclaim what feels lost. For true vitality, true connection cannot be forced. It must be invited, softly, with reverence, like coaxing a shy bird to alight upon your hand. The path to reunion begins not with an act, but with a shift in vision, a willingness to see anew, to feel anew. Consider for a moment the nature of desire. For many, it has become a whisper of shame, a fleeting impulse, or a demand to be fulfilled. But what if we were to reframe this understanding? What if we were to listen more deeply? Desire is not the body calling, it is the soul singing. It is the deepest part of you, reaching out, yearning for connection, for expression, for the very essence of life to flow through you. It is a sacred language, whispered from the deepest chambers of your being, revealing what truly nourishes your spirit, what truly makes you feel alive. This language is spoken through your body, not as a mere vessel for sensation, but as a temple, intricate and wise. When we learn to listen to its quiet murmurs, its subtle tremors, its gentle expansions and contractions, we begin to understand. We begin to heal. This gentle awareness of bodily sensations is the first step home. It is a conscious, loving attention to the whispers of your own living temple. Feel the warmth in your palms, the gentle rise and fall of your chest, the subtle pulse at your wrists. These are not just biological functions, they are the rhythmic expressions of your life force. And with this listening comes breath, deep, unhurried, conscious. Breath is the bridge between your inner world and the vastness around you. It is the very current of life, flowing in and out, connecting you to everything. When a woman breathes deeply, life breathes with her. Her very being becomes a conduit, a living vessel for the universal energy. And a man, in his deep, grounded breath, anchors this current, becoming a channel for its creative power. Through conscious breath, you invite the energy to move, to awaken, to clear the pathways that may have become dormant. It is a gentle invitation, a loving permission for life to animate every cell within you. This reawakening requires presence, a willingness to be fully here, now, not lost in the echoes of the past, nor the anxieties of the future, but simply here, in this breath, in this moment, with this sensation. A man doesn't lose power when he ages. He loses it when he stops looking with wonder. He loses it when the world becomes mundane, predictable, when the spark of curiosity dims. To look with wonder is to see the sacred in the ordinary, the profound in the simple. It is to approach life, and indeed each other, with an open heart and an inquiring spirit. This wonder, this presence, is what truly rekindles the flames of vitality. And what unfolds between us, between a man and a woman, when we bring this presence, this breath, this sacred understanding of desire? Between a man and a woman flows not just passion, but life itself. It is a current, rich and potent, capable of creation, healing, and profound transformation. It is not merely the collision of two bodies, but the merging of two energetic fields, two souls acknowledging their shared divinity. This flow is the very essence of connection, extending far beyond the physical, into the realms of spirit and heart. When this current is honored, when it is allowed to move freely, it nourishes not just the individuals, but the very fabric of life around them. To embark on this path, you must cultivate the courage to feel without judgment, to allow every sensation, every emotion, every tremor to simply be, without immediately labeling it good or bad, right or wrong. Many of us have been taught to suppress, to control, to intellectualize our feelings. But the path to reunion asks us to open, to soften, to bravely meet what arises within us, knowing that even discomfort holds a message, a guidepost on our journey. It is through this courageous acceptance that blockages begin to dissolve, and the natural current of energy is restored. This is not a forced return. It is a gentle invitation, an act of profound self-love. To gently invite your energy back, you must first create a welcoming space within yourself, a space of patience, of understanding, of deep acceptance. Speak to yourself with kindness. Treat your body with respect. Nourish your spirit with quiet moments of introspection. This self-love is the fertile ground from which all true connection blossoms. It is the foundation upon which meaningful intimacy, both with yourself and with another, can be rebuilt. So, how do we begin this gentle invitation? Not with a grand gesture, but with small, conscious acts throughout your day. Take a moment to truly feel the warmth of your morning tea in your hands, to truly taste your food, savoring each flavor, to truly listen to the silence between sounds, to truly see the subtle beauty in a leaf, a cloud, a loved one's smile. These simple acts of mindful presence are like gentle nudges to your inner energy, reminding it that it is safe to awaken, safe to flow. They are silent affirmations that you are ready to receive, ready to connect, ready to live fully. Remember, the journey home is a tender one. It is a process of unfolding, of remembering. The energy within you is not lost. It has simply been waiting for your attention, for your love, for your conscious invitation. It is always there, pulsing, vibrant, ready to return to its full, magnificent expression. Love, feel, breathe. The energy within you has never died. It's been waiting for you to awaken. And so, we arrive at this moment, this quiet space, where the whispers of the soul can finally be heard. Perhaps you felt it too, a subtle shift, an unnameable stirring within your own being. That tremor in his hands, it was not from cold. It was not a sign of weakness, nor a symptom of age or decline. No, it was a message, a powerful, insistent tap on the door of his deeper awareness. Imagine, if you will, that these sensations, these unexplained stirrings, these moments of unease or intense, sudden feeling, are simply the body's way of speaking to a mind that has perhaps forgotten its native tongue. Our bodies, these magnificent vessels, are always communicating, always. But we have been taught to interpret so many of these signals as problems to be solved, rather than as wisdom to be understood. This tremor, it was the current of life itself, moving, seeking passage. It was the energy, long dormant, beginning to awaken and flow. And between a man and a woman, between any two souls truly connecting, flows not just passion, but life itself. The very essence of creation, of healing, of sacred union. This energy, it is not merely physical desire. It is the creative impulse of the universe residing within each of us. For too long, we have been conditioned to fear this power, to compartmentalize it, to tame it, or even to deny it altogether. We have learned to shy away from its intensity, from its raw, untamed truth. We have built walls around our hearts, around our very essence, believing that safety lies in stillness, in control. But true safety, true peace, arises from allowing the river to flow. When energy is blocked, when these vital currents are stifled by fear, by old wounds, by societal expectations, we don't merely lose sex, we lose vitality. We lose our spark, our connection to joy, to inspiration, to the very pulse of existence. We feel a quiet sadness, a longing for something we cannot quite name, because the deepest part of us remembers what it is to be fully alive, fully connected. Perhaps you've noticed this in your own life. A quiet fading, a distance between who you are and who you feel you could be. A sense that the colors have dulled, the music softened. This is not the natural course of things. It is merely the consequence of an energy seeking release, seeking recognition. But when we begin to listen, when we dare to lean into these sensations, to truly feel them without judgment or fear, something profound begins to shift. We realize that the intensity, the tremor, the yearning, these are not threats. They are invitations. Invitations to remember our inherent power, our sacred connection to life. This is the awakening, the moment we stop fearing our own strength, when we cease to see our deepest desires as burdens or dangers, but as sacred guides. And when we stop fearing our own strength, life begins to flow again, unburdened, uninhibited. Imagine what that means. To feel the current return, to feel the warmth spread from the very core of your being out through your fingertips into every breath you take. This is where intimacy returns, not just as a physical act, but as a profound meeting of souls, a deep recognition of another's sacred fire. Desire, in its purest form, is not the body calling, it is the soul singing. It is the language through which the soul speaks, yearning for connection, for creation, for the full expression of its unique song. And attraction, that undeniable pull we feel towards another, or towards a creative endeavor, or towards life itself, attraction is not sin. It's the universe remembering itself. It's the recognition of shared energy, a reflection of the divine spark within. This is not about techniques or tricks or fleeting sensations. This is about meaning. about understanding that the fading of passion, the disconnection you may have felt, it was not a death. It was a call for deeper awareness, a profound invitation to heal the distance between body and soul. When a woman breathes deeply, truly deeply, from the very center of her being, life breathes with her. And a man, he doesn't lose power when he ages. He loses it when he stops looking with wonder, when he ceases to embrace the potent creative force that flows within him. Our vitality is not a finite resource that dwindles with years. It is an endless wellspring waiting to be accessed, to be honored. This journey, it brings a quiet yet powerful strength, a deep acceptance, a profound sense of peace, because you realize that the tremor, the longing, the unspoken needs, they were not weaknesses. They were the very essence of your awakened consciousness, gently, persistently calling you home. So, let us conclude this journey not with an end, but with a beginning, a quiet remembrance. Love, feel, breathe. The energy within you has never died. It's been waiting for you to awaken.